Hi ladies, this is part 2 of the mini album that I've made from the old Curiosity Shop by Graphic45, and I'll try to not let this run too long, but like I said previously in the first portion that there's a lot of detail in the mini album. So at any rate, I had left off on this page and with that insert, and this is the next page. So for this page, I used the Apothecary papers from the collection. I made a pocket here using some paper from I think it's called Tattered Time by DCWV, and I used this word paper. So I made a little pocket, and I used my stamp set that goes with the Curiosity Shop. It's the stamp set with all the Apothecary bottles and the Apothecary labels, and I just stamped out a whole bunch of them and fussy cut them, and then used my Tim Holtz markers to color them, and then I sprayed them with I'm sorry, what's it called? Scintillating silver, and I believe, and then I used my goosebumps to give it a little bit of shimmer and texture there as well. And I added this lace from Joann's and a few of the I Am Rose's cherry blossoms here. I layered a Prima flower with an I Am Roses flower with some fiber behind. I used the Apothecary title from the page here. I used some I Am Roses here that I had gotten from, I believe, Isabel, and a little snip of Prima lace here. And I used a piece of the paper collection up here, and I made a couple of tags, and these tags I used the jar stamp that you could find at Michael's, and I stamped it out on the paper from DCWV and just cut out this from the paper collection. I put on some glossy accents to give it just a shine, so it looked like a jar, and a glass jar. And this one I used from the collection. It says ointment eye water, and I glossy accented the eye that I cut from the collection. So I used these for tags and could do some journaling on there. And then there's a photo mat, and I used one of my new Tim Holtz stamps, and then punched it out with my tab punch for the top. And I went over the top with this lace that I believe I purchased from Created by Martha up here on top. And then, so I thought that came out really cute with these jars. I thought that they shimmer real nice, and they have a bit of texture to them because of the goosebumps. So I thought that came out really sweet there. And then for this page, let's see, I made this belly band here, and this is some of that organza elastic type ribbon from Hobby Lobby. And then at the end of it, I put some fibers and then this Prima flower here, and I added this little clock that came in a package from Scrappy K Sue, from K Sue. Thank you, K Sue, for these clocks. And then I added the small bottle cap off of a garment pin off of it, and then this cameo head that I had in my stash hanging from the clock. And on top here it says Old Bazaar of Wonders, and I thought that would be cool, if you look at the photos and Bazaar of Wonders, and it's just funny, haha. And I tried to make a butterfly using a Prima flower and a snippet of lace and some of this blingy trim from Cassie's Art Fire store. I put this chipboard here, piece here on top, and I used half of a doily piece from Marcia behind. And so, and then I added on the bottom, let's see, on the bottom I added this beaded trim that I had gotten at Joann's at one time, and a piece of border piece from the collection, the butterflies. And so this page opens up this way. I put a piece of Velcro on the back of that and put a piece of black Velcro there, so that opens up. And there's a couple of images here that are adhered with the Tim Holtz hanger. There's a bingo from the bingo stamp that I have. Whoops, I'm sorry. And just a butterfly image from the collection. And I put those in with the Tim Holtz clip. And this is just a waterfall page. I use my Punchinella there, and it just, you know, flips more places for photos. And I just put, you know, a strip of the paper from the paper collection along the bottom for color when it's closed. So a lot of photos can fit here. So that's what I did there, and I thought it came out really cute. A good way to add some photos, more photos to the album. And that just adheres right back. And then up here, let's see, up here in the corner, you know, I peeled it down and added a piece of lace. And then in this pocket is a tag. Excuse me. And for this tag, see, there it is. For this tag, I took a piece of cardstock and made like a little pocket here. And I went over it with the walnuts distress ink and lightly did some Punchinella. And then I took two more of the bottles that I had stamped out and fussy cut them out and adhered them here, along with this image here, and a couple of Martha Stewart butterflies and this odd piece that I had. And then in the pocket is just some more cool images from the paper collection there. And then on the back is plain. So that's that page. And then on this page I tried something a little different, and excuse me, let's see. Okay, I tried something a little different. I took this paper, excuse me, paper from the collection, and the name of this paper was Counting Down, and it had a bunch of images of ladies getting ready, and I imagined they were getting ready for a date or a special occasion because they're dressing up. So I put a piece of burlap down here and put some Prima flower and I Am Rose's rose, and I put the title to the paper here, Counting Down. I added this black piece here is actually one of those small tiny bottle caps, and I flattened it using my Big Shot, and it just didn't look right, so I just adhered a piece of lace onto it and added a couple of roses. And then I used my corset stamp that I had gotten at the expo and stamped this out and used little I Am Roses there and a little piece of trim here at the bottom. I just, you know, adorned it a little bit and a little bit of bling. I added these charms here. I put this back with the Claudine Helmuth, and I added a jump ring with a hand mirror, and the other one is like a love letter there. And I made a pocket between this piece and the corset. It forms a pocket. And in the pocket is, I made this corset, and I just added some of this trim that Cassie had sent me at one time and added some bling down the middle for buttons. And this one I stamped out and just added the bling. So these would be cute just to add a date or a little bit of journaling. And then for the photo mat, I used my Baroque die and cut out this piece from the DCWV paper, and then I used my mini Baroque die, and I cut this piece of burlap out. And I sprayed it just a little bit, and I adhered this to the photo mat with Fabri-Tac, which is also how I adhered my binding and my lace. I used Fabri-Tac. So I thought that came out really cool. A nice burlap photo mat there with this pocket. And I thought it looked really sweet. I hope the camera will focus. I can't tell. And so that's what I did there. And then for this other page, I added this gray burlap that I have. It's like on a ribbon, on a row, sort of like a ribbon, and I adhered it here and here and here, and I just made a long pocket with it, and I used my Fabri-Tac to adhere it. And inside the pocket, there's a photo mat there, and I added a little image in the back, and just a couple of cool images from the collection that I used my Tim Holtz Distresser on a lot of my tags. Another stamped image, the butterfly, a place for journaling, and then I used my dragonfly stamp again. I just think it's beautiful, and there's a place for a photo or journaling or whatever. And then for this page, on the cover you can see, excuse me, I'm going to show you. On the cover you can see this boot, and I know it's a roller skate, but it's a boot with the peacock feathers coming out. Well, I wanted to mimic that a little bit, so I used this button, the boot button, and I got a peacock feather that I had picked up for another project at Hobby Lobby, and I thought that just came out really sweet. And then I added a little piece of gold trim here, and cherry blossoms, and I am roses here. And then to go with the strange oddities type theme of the album, I made another butterfly with a potty person or whatever in the middle, and another butterfly up on top there with and I layered it, and there's I Am Rose's closed rosebud in there. And then over here, this is a bird cage that I had cut out with my Cricut, and I don't know the name of the cartridge. I had borrowed it from Becky. So this was just regular beige cardstock, ivory colored cardstock. And what I did was I inked it and distressed it and went over it with my rub and buff, and just worked it until it looked like a metal cage. If you could see that. I thought it came out really cute. And I fussy cut some more of the pigs from the when pigs fly, and I put them in the cage. So I thought that was cute. And then I put one pig that had gotten away, and I glossy accents on him. So I thought that was cool. And the title of this page is Optical Oddities. So that's why I wanted to, add some optical oddities of my own. And I thought it came out really cute. So that's that page. I thought the feather just looked really sweet there. So then the next page is this. And this actually is an insert, so I'll take this out. And this is another, the card for an insert. And I made another, or accented another clothespin with paper from the collection, and stained the rest of the clothespin with the walnut stain. I made this old tattered tag just from paper from the collection. I wanted to include the dragonfly because I used my dragonfly stamp. Added some bling and distressed it with my Tim Holtz distressing tool. There's a flower piece of trim there, and layered on top of some white burlap there. So just a fun tag. And then this photo mat, and this bottle is raised on pop dots, so you could probably get a photo behind up to there. And then the inside, I used my stamp and I just made lines for journaling, and used that dollar stamp from Michael's there with the pen with the wings. And I thought this would be another good place for journaling. And then on the back, I used the butterfly that I had made with the material that Marcia had sent me, with the material that Kay Sue had sent me. I had cut out this butterfly using a butterfly die, and then I cut out this dress form out of canvas, and I just adhered them together and put, this cameo here is a button, and I just cut off the shank. So I thought that was cute. So that's what I did with that insert. And then for this page, it's a really chunky mini. For this page, I took the outside part when I cut out this with the Tim Holtz mini Baroque die. It left, this outside outline. So I took that outside outline and I adhered it to the page, I believe with glossy accents, and then I cut out another mini Baroque shape using canvas, and I used that piece as the photo mat, and I used my punchinella on it, and I stamped the dragonfly again, and I just worked it with some ink and stuff, and added some Prima lace on top here. In the corner you could see some lace peeking back. This is another bird cage that I had cut out using Becky's cricket die, and I had cut it out, and then I stamped it with my script stamp, and then I colored the bird because it came with the bird inside, so it was craft color also, so I just colored it with my Copic marker and added a rhinestone for the eye. And the name of this paper is Genuine Article, so I thought that was a good title for a page. And then I tried to make a butterfly, but you can't really tell. But it's supposed to be a butterfly, layered butterfly with fibers and Prima flowers and one of the female potty people in the middle there. I added some Recollection black bling. So that's that page. And then I layered some trim that I had gotten at Joann's. I had sprayed this one with some of my moon shadow mist and just adhered this crochet trim on top of it. So I thought that was kind of cute. And then for this other page, I put down a photo mat, and I adhered this lace, and it goes all the way across, and it's open, and I really wanted to use the dress form with a butterfly again, so I got the butterfly from a K & Company die cut pack. So I cut out the dress form out of chipboard, and I stamped it with a Tim Holtz stamp, and then I went over it with the punchinella. I outlined the butterfly using my glitter gel pen, and then I added this flower from Jolie's that I'd gotten a while back at Target, and I adhered that in. And then let me show you, these are tags. I made a little pocket at the bottom. So these are just tags or images from the collection. This says create unique vintage curiosities. So that, and just images from the collection, the postcard image, which I think is way cool, and another advertisement. So those all go, in that little pocket. And then let's see. So what I did was, if you can see it here, I added a jump ring to the flower and then a jump ring here to the edge of the butterfly, and then I added the Tim Holtz token. It says genuine, and a chipboard piece from the collection. I added a little strip of paper and a little bit of lace and a flower on that side, so it just hangs there. And then this is that little pocket, and I made a little banner so that it pops up and it says Old Curiosity Shop. So I thought that was cool. I thought it was different, and I could add more charms or just whatever to this, and I just thought it came out really sweet. I hope it's picking it up, the camera. So I thought that was a cool idea, and it may not be the most practical page for a photo, but it's cool nonetheless. And then on the bottom I added some of that fringe trim that I had gotten at Joann's, and this blingy trim here. And then in the back page, I'm sorry this video's gone so long. And then on this back page, I used the paper that says Race for Time, and it's the one with, it has a bunch of little pictures of the penny farthing, and inside the penny farthing it is clocks. So, hold on, is clocks. So what I did was, this is a photo mat that I made, and another photo mat. So I got this penny farthing from embellishment pack from K & Company, and I used the brad to adhere this Tim Holtz clock, and then I used glossy accents to adhere the whole thing to the page. I put a little rhinestone there. This is a key, an image from the collection, the key with the clock in the in there, and I added I tore the paper and added some burlap. So this image inspired me to make this image, which is, I cut this clock out from the paper collection, and I laid a key from Hobby Lobby onto the clock, and then added my glossy accents on top with a little rhinestone there so that it became one piece. I used an old rub-on from my stash here of a clock. This is a chipboard piece, and I just used the title to the page, Race for Time, on top of it, and layered it with some trim. So I thought that was cool. Added some more trim from Joann's, and some of this braided trim here from Hobby Lobby. So I thought that was worked real well for the theme of that page, Race for Time. And that's why those other tags had those people on the bikes from the first video, because it just seemed to go, but they wouldn't fit on this page. And then the insert for this one is a nice place for a photo. Whoops, hold on. And then on this side, I used one of the chipboard pieces from the collection, and then layered it with this bottle cap that I had made using an image from the collection. The bottle cap is black because I used my black alcohol ink and colored it, and then added the image, and this piece comes out, I think, maybe not. But so that's what I did there. And then for the inside cover, we're almost done. I'm so sorry it's so long. For the inside cover, I took this trim that I had gotten at Joann's, and it's a nice elastic trim, and I adhered it on both sides, then added these chipboard pieces, and the chipboard pieces say, unusual oddities on top of the ends there. And then I made a couple of tags, just random tags, you know. I colored the seam binding and used the carnival stamp that Lydia had given to me in a rack, and I used my punchinella and different sprays. And on the back I just added a piece of lace and put a journaling prompt there. So that's one. And then this one is similar, but it's I thought this was unusual. This stamp is from the Dollar Spot at Michael's from a while back, and I did the same thing, sprayed it, and both of them I used my goosebumps on them. And for this one I just adhered a piece of burlap on the back, and it says live. So just a couple of old looking random tags. And then to go on this piece of trim here, I had made this bottle cap, and I did it different. I had adhered the picture on the top of the bottle cap instead of inside, and so I just added a couple of jump rings and added it to this this trim back here. So I thought that was cute. So that's my Curiosity Shop mini album, ladies. I hope you enjoyed it. I used a lot of different techniques and some mixed media, and I just thought it came out really kind of cool. So let me know what you think, and I appreciate you watching. This is the cover again. I showed it in my last video, but that's the cover again. I just thought it came out really cool, and it was worth all the burns that I burnt myself several times making this mini album. But it was worth it. It came out cool. So thanks so much for watching. I'm sorry I've kept you so long, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye now.